So the third criteria we want to talk about is supporting resources. In other words, when we're evaluating a source for a works cited list, in this case our street art project, we want to check what supporting resources does the source connect us to. And the standard kind of ways that would happen would be a source that has a works cited list or footnotes that we can use to find other resources on the same topic. And we want to ask ourselves, how well does the source investigate, document, and connect us to the history and knowledge and scholarship about the topic that occurred before the source was created? And the best sources are going to situate us within this ongoing scholarly, academic, professional conversation and give us tools so we can explore on our own. So this is something we want to look for when we look at a source. How well does it connect us to other resources that can deepen our knowledge and validate the source's grounding in the larger discussion of the topic? So let's look at a few of our sources again and see how we did that. So this first source is a database article, and it looks like that's a little chopped off by how I framed this. Sorry about that. And the database article is a pretty credible source, and when you look at the supporting resources, it's okay. It has a brief bibliography that connects us to other tools, but it doesn't give us a lot of detail. So that's even a good library resource. So just because the supporting resources aren't excellent doesn't mean we can't use the source. We just want to evaluate for our reader how strong the source is in that area. Let's take a look at another one. This is about the television show source that we've talked about. And here we have a real weakness of television shows. Rarely do they provide us the kind of academic sources that we can go to, other articles, other things, etc. Typically, the sources are right there on the screen. So to the extent that we're connected with some experts, then we can have a TV article that's pretty credible. But because we don't have connection to other kinds of sources, usually the supporting sources for a TV article or a YouTube article are kind of limited. Again, doesn't mean we can't use the source, but it does mean we have to recognize that limitation. So again, that was for the TV show. Okay, let's take a look at another one. This one is for the website, the Chicano Park documentation website. And what's interesting about this website is it does a fabulous job of collecting images of the park. It has all sorts of other cool resources based on field research and technology. But it doesn't really give us much in terms of any kind of bibliography that provides it academic credibility, although there are some links to other sources. All right, let's take a look at a website that's totally done by its community. And this is interesting because though it doesn't have any bibliography or formal scholarship, it is really current. And so it has the best map that you can find of the park and the most accurate list of the murals in the park. So surprisingly, in some ways, you can argue the supporting resources for this site, even though it's the most popular, the least scholarly of all of them maybe, it's interesting that we still have some really credible and useful supporting resources. And then finally, you get to the academic book, and this is going to have the highest level of supporting resources. You're going to have a detailed works cited and 20 pages of notes, a 12-page bibliography. This is the highest standard you can have in terms of supporting resources and the credibility that they bring to a book. And this is why scholarship is so important, because academic and professional scholars collect these resources for us. They keep us current on these topics, and they share those resources in a way that allows others to even explore in new and more sophisticated ways as time goes by. So this is why supporting resources are really important, and this is the highest standard. So once again, we're looking at a range of different kinds of supporting resources. We want to identify the strengths and weaknesses, the presences and absences. These do not preclude using a source. They just help your reader understand what are the source's strengths and weaknesses in this area. So once again, that was criteria number 3, supporting resources.